Apologize for the little bit of a delay. We had a closed session as part of our work session before. For those who came out to the work session, you got to hear a lot of really good information on utilities, where we are, where we're projecting, what we're looking at doing, and that's an important part of our process. At this point, we will call the regular meeting to order, and we'd like to begin our regular meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you all please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. And we would ask that you join us in a moment of silence. You can use this time to prepare for the meeting, to reflect on the subjects at hand, or for silent prayer. Thank you very much. Council members, you all have the meeting minutes from March 10th's meeting. Is there any a change that needs to be made, or do we have a motion to approve as submitted?
Motion to approve as submitted.
What motion, and do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. At this time, we'll open the floor for citizen comment on public matters, and we'll ask that you, if you have a comment to make, that you please come down to the podium, use the microphone, state your name for the record, and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. We do have our timer up on the wall, although we're getting it there. All right. Thank you.
My name is Carol Andrews, 2001 Preston Street in Radford. I just want to express my concern about our city budget and the condition of things that are going on in our city. And first of all, I know that it's a difficult decision to make with all these things that are going on. My concern is the money that we owe to the school system, to Appalachian Power. Our rates are increasing. Our real estate taxes went up. Our real estate assessment will probably be going up. And the breaks that we have given to Radford University really worry me about us staying a city. And I don't think we can tax the citizens of Radford to get out of this mess. This has been a progression for 6 or 7 years now. And we're in bad shape, and I know that y'all are trying to figure something out. I totally understand that. But if you tax the citizens of Radford, people will move, because it's getting very difficult to be able to afford to live in the city of Radford. I know Radford University has a lot of property that are off of the tax rolls. That hurts us real estate-wise. This $128,000, if I'm not mistaken, that's here on the budget of giving back to Radford University some taxes. I would love for y'all to forgive 80% of mine and return 80% of my taxes, 80% of everybody else's taxes. If we don't have the money, we can't do it. We all have a budget every month, and we have bills every month, and we've got to not spend over our budget. And the city has not been spending more than we're taking in. We need some retail. We need to have our economic director scouring other locations, Abingdon, Marion, Bristol, Mount Airy, North Carolina. Get some ideas, get some retail. Try to get something in, like an Amazon out in the industrial park, maybe an Amazon. What do you call it?
Distribution center.
Thank you, an Amazon distribution, something that's going to set Radford that other localities don't have. This is my hometown, and I love Radford, but I'm very worried. I'm very worried that we just keep going down, 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 and we're running out of money. We don't have the money to pay our bills. And so I don't want anybody to lose their job. I don't want cuts to happen, but sometimes those things have to happen. And please don't try to do this off the backs of taxing your citizens, off the back of us, because it's getting harder and harder as things get more expensive. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Nicole Watson, and I want to speak in behalf of the Rec Center a little bit. So I've taught a fitness class at the Rec Center for over 17 years. That starts at 5:45 in the morning and go till 6:30. And because I've been there for many years, I know that a lot of people use the facility that early in the morning. But I also understand that we have cuts, and I can't speak to that because I've not done my homework on budget cuts. But I do feel like maybe we could be a little bit more equitable and maybe 3 days a week we open early and maybe 3 days a week we open at a later time and maybe disperse the hours that have been cut differently so that those of us who work still have the ability to exercise before we go to work, because it's really great for my mental health to be able to have a facility to work at. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other citizen comments?
Wilson Rankin, 2308 8th Street. I'm here to thank you for, 2 weeks ago, a bunch of folks spoke about the library, and I thought they spoke with great passion and eloquence, and you listened, and that, I'm proud of that. My worst fear was that all those concerns would just be, you would go with your initial closing one full day, but you changed your mind, and I think that was democracy at work, and I thank you. I'm here tonight to ask you about the drop center. I think the drop center is a beautiful thing. I think you have all these citizens of Radford basically doing your work for you. They're using their vehicles and their gas and their time, and they're bringing their debris, and they're keeping the city nice. And you have to clean out sheds every now and then, and you have to replace steps, and you have, that creates a mess, but I think this is the best way to handle the mess. In particular, I know without the brush drop-off, I would have to put it out on Forest Avenue. And I generally generate, my wife and I, we have a flower garden and a vegetable garden, and we have native trees and plants and whatnot. But anyway, once a week I take stuff to the brush pile, and it's not a huge load, but I would have to just put it on the street, and I would do that every week or every other week, pretty much all year long. So and if you multiply that by citizens, you're not going to it's not going to look good, and it's also going to be a little, I know people fuss about brush piles for skunks and things like that, but so I'm hoping you keep the brush pile, and actually I'd like that you keep all of our assets there. I know you could tighten it up with some hours here and there and whatnot, but I like the drop center. I like the fact that we keep our city clean that way, and so that's my comment for tonight.
Thank you, Wilson.
Thank you.
Any other citizen comments?
My name is Richard Fisher. I'm at 1411 2nd Street. I've been living in Radford now for 38 years. We did leave for 1 year, and then we came back. My daughter just spoke to you just a little bit ago. She's a teacher here. And I have a son who's a teacher here. And I taught at the governor's school for 25 years, and you sent students to be with me. I go into the rec center also early, and I usually there between 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning. And between 6 and 6:30, there would be a lot of people that would be leaving because they had to go to work. And at 6 o'clock, there would be a group of guys that would come together, usually about 12 to 15 of them, playing basketball. They're not there anymore. The people who usually leave at that time are not there anymore because the building is closing up. Its hours not opening until 7 o'clock. I really think that it would be a wonderful service, and that's something I've really enjoyed about this community. They built a Wildwood trail system. They built the rec center. I also go to the swimming pool over at Christiansburg, and all I have to do is show a card, and it's wonderful that it is, but all of the people in the community need to be served. And so I really recommend that we open that place back up 5:30, 6 o'clock, so that the people who want to be able to use it, but they are working in the community, that we give them the opportunity to be able to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a comment for us this evening?
Well, you've already heard from my wife, Carol. Calvin Andrews, 2001 Preston Street. Lived at that address since '99.
Bless you.
My family has been in Radford since the 1800s. My grandmother and her family, their house was where the first shelter is at the park. My great-grandparents lost their home in the Great Flood of 1940. So I think that I can honestly speak that my family's been invested in the city of Radford. We've been connected to Radford City Schools. My grandmother was part of the first class that graduated from Radford High School, 1928. So Radford has never been, we've always been a leader, and it's time for us to lead. And yeah, we're down right now. We got a lot of issues, but you know, I was kind of hurt when the recreation cut hours. I don't know how much that really saves. I used the city refuge place. So I don't know how much that saves. It's perception lots of times is what gets you. We got to be putting our best foot forward. I think that Pulaski County, some of theirs across the river is maintained by some retired people. Few hours of a morning. Is that an option? Is the rec center, is that an option that, you know, some people man that and let that to be open? You know, you got to think outside the box. Bruce Brown taught me that a long time ago, and I think he served us as a really good mayor. Had a balanced budget. So I think we got to get this thing turned around. We're the laughing stock of New River Valley right now. I got friends. I got loan land in Pulaski County. So we got to lead, and we got to be the stop being the laughing stock right now. Hey, y'all going broke? No, we're not. Yeah, why don't you start reading? Every locality is up against it with energy costs and everything. One group of people we have not heard from, and they're the silent elderly. I don't know how the elderly are paying their energy costs. Carol and I make good money. Yeah, we've had to cut back on our budget. You know, yeah, I'm used to going over. I'm a teacher.
You can wrap up your thoughts here real
Oh, I
quick. We
will.
appreciate it.
But, you know, it's time to, let's get some other people's intake. You know, we have a wealth of knowledge. We have a retired superintendent that lives right down the street from me. Hey, he's great on budget. We got Mayor Tom Starnes, retired. Let's use this expertise. We got Bruce Brown. Let's pull these people in. Hey, use your resources. And I know that it's a hard job on y'all's part. If anybody wants to step in, and let them do it. But guess what? You all are getting the true numbers. So I commend you for making the tough decisions. But we're Radford, man. We were always a leader in the New River Valley. Still are, but we got to get things turned back around here.
Thank you, Calvin.
Thank
We
you very
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Roger Walters. I live at 1100 Robinson Street. Been there for 45 years. Been in Radford for right at 50. Worked all over this city, back in the 60s, building houses for people. We done wiring, plumbing, heating on them. My last job where I retired from was Radford. I was a truck driver there for 20 years. Been in trucking business all my life, been in asphalt business all my life. This city needs industry, not restaurants and cater to the college. We need big industry in this city. That's what you people should be doing. You're hitting the streets looking for industry to come in this city. There's where your money's at. You're taxing. I'm 80 years old. Y'all taxing us to death. The light bill is sky high. We need something so you can lower the cost. This is a great city. That college don't pay us nothing. We can't be giving them everything we got because tax breaks for the college ain't putting no money in this city. We got to have business. And we can't give our land away to the college. I understand that the college go put their power plant in. We got a power plant sitting up there, but won't nobody ask for a government grant to fire all the turbos up. Get a government grant, dredge that river up there and fire all them turbos up so you don't have to buy power from Appalachian. Yeah, it's going to cost money. Tom Storm says $30 million. Well, you can get grants. You think a college is going to take their money and build that power station? No, 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 no. They go get grants from the state, the government, and everybody. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a comment for us for this evening? Seeing no one else, we will close the public comment portion of the meeting. We thank all the citizens. Council members, is there any response anybody wants to make this evening? We may come back to that at the end of the meeting in council member comments, and we'll go from there. We have a lot to talk about this evening in terms of proclamations. April is nationally recognized as Environmental Awareness Month, and as such, we want to declare April as Environmental Awareness Month here in the city of Radford. And so with that, we do have a proclamation to call on our local citizens to recognize the environment during the month of April. And Kelly, I believe you have that one.
I do. Proclamation, April 2025, Environmental Awareness Month. Whereas various organizations and citizens shown concern for the Earth's environment, and whereas the problems of the Earth's environment affect all the citizens of Radford, as well as the entire population of the planet, and whereas the City of Radford encourages Radford citizens to participate in global appreciation of the Earth through educational programs, special projects, demonstrations, cultural events, lectures, cleanup activities, etc. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby designate the month of April 2025 as Environmental Awareness Month and calls all citizens of Radford to support, recognize, and appreciate the importance of participating in this special month. Mayor, I would like to ask the council to accept this proclamation.
We have a motion on the proclamation. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. I hope April is a good Environmental Awareness Month for you. It is also home to Earth Day, which is designated as April 22nd, 2025, and our proclamation encourages citizens to reduce, recycle, and reuse to promote a healthy environment and sustainable society. And it will be formally recognized now. So, Jesse, I believe you have a motion for us.
Proclamation, April 22nd, 2025, Earth Day. Whereas April 22nd, 2025 is recognized as National Earth Day, and whereas the theme for 2025 is Our Power, Our Planet, which calls us to advocate for widespread awareness on the health risk of plastics and the phasing out of single-use plastics. And whereas a sound natural environment is the foundation of a healthy society and a robust economy, and whereas they are sound economic, environmental, and social reasons for local governments to initiate energy efficiency and renewable energy practices. And whereas the City of Radford encourages and endorses participation in events supporting Earth Day, now therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby proclaim the day of April 22nd, 2025 as Earth Day, and does hereby encourage all of our citizens to participate in the ongoing efforts to recycle, reduce, and reuse, as well as other activities which promote a healthy environment and sustainable society. I make a motion that we accept this proclamation.
We have a motion to accept Earth Day. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Also in April, Arbor Day takes place. Now, Arbor Day is near and dear to my heart and something I've been involved with for most of my life. Our proclamation encourages citizens to protect our trees and woodlands as well as recognize the benefits of our forests. And we have several Arbor Day events that are planned by the Beautification and Municipal Forestry Commission as well as the City Horticulturalist. And as such, we want to look at April the 25th as our date. So I have that proclamation here. City of Radford Proclamation, Arbor Day 2025. Whereas in 1872, a special day was set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees, and whereas 2025 is the 153rd anniversary of the holiday and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-saving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and they beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the City of Radford established the Commission for Beautification and Municipal Forests to enhance and maintain the health and vitality of the community's urban landscape. And whereas the City of Radford's commitment to the preservation and propagation of trees within the community has been demonstrated over many years and recognized by the National Arbor Day Foundation through the designation of Radford as a Tree City USA community once again this year. The 7th anniversary, well, actually, this is beyond the 7th anniversary. We're actually more than a decade beyond our initial designation. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby proclaim April the 25th, 2025 as the 153rd anniversary celebration of Arbor Day in the City of Radford, and joins with the Radford Commission for Beautification and Municipal Forests to urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and further urges all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Council, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the Arbor Day proclamation. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? More good things to talk about. These are a little bit different, and I will ask that we take the next three together and read those, and then we can do a designation for them. The month of April 2025 is nationally designated as Distracted Driving Awareness Month. This proclamation recognizes and promotes safe driving behaviors, motor vehicle safety, and distraction-free operation. I believe we have a proclamation for that.
All right, City of Radford Proclamation Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Whereas more than 276,000 injury-related crashes and 40,000 deaths occur yearly that involve distracted driving, and the economic toll of all motor vehicle crashes in the U.S. annually exceeds $400 billion. Whereas talking on the mobile phone, even in a hands-free mode, texting, programming your dashboard, information system, or GPS device can divert your attention away from driving and result in physical or cognitive distraction. Whereas Radford residents and all Americans deserve to live in communities that promote safe driving behaviors and healthy lifestyles. Whereas preventing distracted driving injuries and deaths requires the cooperation of all levels of government, employers, and the general public. Whereas the National Safety Council and the Radford City Police Department work to promote policies, practices, and procedures leading to increased safety, protection, and health in business and in industry, in schools and colleges, on roads and highways, and in homes and communities. Whereas the National Safety Council in 2025 will provide this nation with a month-long distracted driving public education campaign. Whereas spring is a time when people begin to log more miles on the road, and it is imperative to focus attention on motor vehicle injury risk and preventions. Now, therefore, the Radford City Council of Radford, Virginia, does hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and strongly urges the citizens and businesses of Radford to observe Distracted Driving Awareness Month by practicing safe driving behaviors and pledging to drive distraction-free. Mayor and council, I'd like to present this proclamation.
So we have a motion on the proclamation. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Now, what we'll do is ask our police to come forward in just a minute to get this, our National Public Telecommunications Week, and then our National Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week, and we can present all those at once, but we'll do each one. Again, thinking of this, April the 13th through the 19th is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. This is a week designed to recognize the professionals who are first and foremost the critical contact with our citizens that have emergency service needs. Public safety telecommunicators serve a vital link to police and fire personnel by monitoring their activities, relaying information, and establishing the link from the caller to the scene. We do have a proclamation for National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week.
City of Radford proclamation, National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, Communicators Week, sorry. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the City of Radford Emergency Communications Center, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the City of Radford have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during their performance of their job in the past. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Radford declares the week of April 13 through 19, 2025 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Radford in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe.
Guy, would you make a motion that we accept that?
I do so move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we also have to look at April 13th and 19th again because that is National Animal Control Officers Appreciation Week. And as you know, we love our animal control here in Radford. They take care of so many of our critters, our furry and scaly friends and everybody that ends up down there. The week is designated to celebrate and promote the professionalism and service within the animal control field for all they do to protect the welfare of animals, providing public information and education, as well as enforcing animal control laws. And we have a proclamation.
City of Radford proclamation, Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week. Whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association, NACA, is committed to setting the standard of professionalism in animal welfare and public safety through training, networking, and advocacy. And whereas NACA has designated the second week of April each year as Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week. And whereas animal control officers dedicate their lives to the health and safety of at-risk, helpless animals and to the protection of citizens in the community. And whereas animal control officers respond to calls for service to protect the welfare of helpless animals and pets and rescue them from injury, disease, abuse, and starvation. And whereas animal control officers provide essential community functions, including the enforcement of animal control laws, protecting the public from diseases such as rabies, and educating the public on the proper care of the community's pets. And whereas federal, state, and local government officials throughout the country take this time of the year to recognize, thank, and commend all animal control officers for the dedicated service they provide to the citizens of the Commonwealth. And whereas the Commonwealth of Virginia recognizes and commends animal control officers for the many dedicated and long hours of service they perform in serving Virginia and for fulfilling the commitment to providing the highest and most efficient level of customer service. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Radford City Council that the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 be recognized as Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week in Radford. And be it further proclaimed that the Radford City Council extends its gratitude and appreciation to Radford's animal control officers for their continued dedication and professional assistance to the citizens of the city of Radford. I make a motion that we accept this proclamation.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'm going to ask that our chief and police officers come on down front, and can we give a round of applause to all of our police for all they do for us? Officer, come on down and let's do a photograph. Thank you. It's good to see you. Thank you. Absolutely. I'm going to get over here on the end. Everybody squeeze in. Let's tighten it up just a little bit. Squeeze in here. Get us all? I got you. Thank you all so much for all that you do. As stated, we have a lot of amazing people and amazing things to recognize and celebrate in the month of April, all those wonderful folks you just saw. We also have an important institution in the city of Radford that we need to recognize. And a couple weeks ago, if you were here, you heard a far more beautiful description and support of our library than I could ever bring forward. But I do have a proclamation. City of Radford Proclamation, National Library Week 2025. Whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. And whereas libraries serve as vibrant community hubs connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. And whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. And whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. And whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunities that support career growth and economic success. And whereas libraries nurture young minds through story times, STEAM programs, literacy initiatives, fostering curiosity and a love of learning that lasts a lifetime. And whereas libraries protect the right to read, think, and explore, standing as champions of intellectual freedom and free expression. And whereas dedicated librarians and library workers provide welcoming spaces that inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all. And whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme, Drawn to the Library. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Radford City Council that April 6th through the 12th, 2025, be known as National Library Week and encourages all residents to visit our library, explore its resources, and celebrate all the ways that the library draws us together. as a community. Council, I'd like to make a motion, we adopt this proclamation. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Congratulations. Let's get our library staff to come on down front. Can we give them a round of applause? You come on down. Let's get everybody down here. Come on down. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate you all so much. Thank you. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Come on, get here in the middle here with me. We're gonna make room for me. Elizabeth, come on down. I'm sorry. I'll squeeze right here. Want to make sure we can see everybody. Everybody get close. Here we go. Give our library a round of applause. Thank you. We do have one more proclamation we want to recognize. It's on a little more serious note, as it is National Crime Victims' Rights Week. The week of April 6th through the 12th is also recognized as that designation, and a local proclamation has been requested by our Victim Witness Office. The proclamation calls on our citizens to recognize the emotional, physical, psychological, and financial effects of crime on victims, as well as highlight the programs, service providers, and criminal justice professionals who respond to the needs of the victims of crime. And we do have that proclamation.
City of Radford Proclamation, National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Whereas the term victim is more than just a label and has a legal standing and protections that go along with it. And whereas Crime Victims' Rights Acts, passed here in Virginia and at the federal level, guarantee victims the right to meaningfully participate and use their voice in the criminal justice process. And whereas victim service providers, advocates, law enforcement officers, attorneys, and other allied professionals can help survivors find their justice by enforcing these rights. And whereas including and elevating the voices of survivors makes certain they are heard and seen and creates a path to forging and sustaining community trust. And whereas engaging survivors creates responses and services that are credible, meaningful, and centered on individual needs. And whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week provides an opportunity to recommit to listening to crime survivors in every space where decisions are made that could impact them. And whereas Radford City, Floyd County Victim Witness is hereby dedicated to amplifying the voices of survivors and creating an environment where survivors have the confidence that they will be heard, believed, and supported. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby proclaim the week of April 6th through 12th, 2025 as Crime Victims' Rights Week and reaffirms our commitment to creating a victim service and criminal justice response that assists all victims of crime throughout the year, and expressing our sincere gratitude and appreciation for those community members, victim service providers, and criminal justice professionals who are committed to improving our response to all victims of crime so that they may find relevant assistance, support, justice, and peace. Mayor and council, I'd like to make a motion that we accept this proclamation.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? And I think we do have someone here to receive that, so if you'll come on down front, come on down. And if you want to take that down. And we want to say thank you for all you do. Thank you so much for all your work. Come on down front here. Now, we know we have a special 5K coming up in the month of April. Do you want to tell us anything more about that?
We have it April 12th. It starts at 10 a.m. registration, and the actual run starts at 11.
And I'll be down there. That's in Bissett Park,
Yes,
correct?
sir. Visit Park.
All right, we'll see you there. Come Lots of great things to recognize and celebrate during the month of April. We have so much good going on in the city, and we're appreciative of everybody who helps get us there. So thank you all very much. Under old business, we don't have any old business tonight. I would ask that council allow us to make a motion for an amendment to new business to add in a piece to discuss opioid litigation action. Do I have a motion that we add that as item number 5 under new business?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will begin with Appropriation Ordinance 1802.23, the SPAYVA grant. The Radford City Police Department has been awarded a grant to help address the overpopulation of stray and unaltered pets in the city of Radford. The VFHS and SPAYVA Spay Virginia grant provides for long-term benefits with regard to animal welfare and public safety by reducing stray overpopulation, shelter overcrowding, and euthanasia rates. Radford City Animal Control has been awarded $1,000 from the 2025 VFHS and Spay Virginia Spay and Neuter Grant. Council, do we have a motion to adopt that appropriation ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Having heard 4 affirmative votes, we can dispense with a second reading as so desired. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Excuse me. Appropriation Ordinance 1802.24, the VDEM NG 911 Upgrade Program. The Radford City Police Department was awarded funding toward upgrading projects for Next Generation 911 NG 911. These services ensure that 911 phone systems are upgraded to meet the current demands of telephone communications and geolocation technologies. The upgrade also seeks to ensure that PSAPs operate with technology that is interoperable to ensure the fastest access to public safety services possible. Radford City was approved for a total of $137,519 with no required matching of funds for the upgrade. These funds ensure existing call handling of equipment and recorders are compatible with the upgrade to NG 911, as well as cover 24 months of operating costs. Council, do we have a motion to adopt Appropriation Ordinance 1802.24?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Having heard 4 affirmative votes, we can dispense with a second reading if so desired. Do we have a motion to do so? So moved. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Appropriation Ordinance 1802.25, the LOLE grant. The Radford City Police Department was awarded funding through the Local Law Enforcement Block Grant, LOLE, in the amount of $3,200. This grant provides funds through the Justice Assistant Grant Program, JAG program, to support localities in their efforts to reduce crime and improve public safety. These funds will be used on equipment for training scenarios. Do we have a motion to approve Appropriation Ordinance 1802.25?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Having heard 4 affirmative votes, we can dispense with a second reading if so desired. Is there a motion to do so? We have a motion. Do we have a second to dispense with a second reading?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, before we get into the next amount, I do have a declaration to read. This next area involves a matter that involves application filed by the Radford University Foundation for the Radford City Ready program. I am employed by Radford University and receive a salary of more than $5,000 annually. Although the foundation and Radford University are separate legal entities, because it has some direct or indirect benefit to Radford University, I have a personal interest that may be affected by council's consideration of this matter. I am, however, a member of a business, profession, occupation, or group that may be affected equally by council's decision, and therefore am able to participate pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3115H, and I'm also able to participate in this matter fairly, objectively, and in the public interest. The EDA entered into a performance agreement dated January 1st, 2023 with the RU Foundation Hotel Land LLC under the Radford Ready Grant Program. The EDA has completed its review of the request and determined the hotel has met the requirements of this agreement for grant consideration for grant year number 2. On February 20th, 2025, the EDA passed a motion recommending City Council consider appropriating funds in support of the Ready Grant Program. Council, we are in the middle of our budget process, and we are trying to determine where we are this year with revenue, with expenses, and where we're going to be building for the next year. I would like to make a motion that we consider reconsidering this at the May the 12th meeting and that we table it for tonight. So that is my motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you all very much. For new business number 5, the piece that we added, we have been working for a number of years dealing with opioid litigation on behalf of citizens of the city of Radford. We do have some additional things we need to pursue, and to that end, we need to make a motion to authorize the city manager to work with legal counsel in regard to additional opioid litigation action. Do we have a motion to do so? So moved. We have a motion?
And I would ask that council specifically entertain a motion to grant authority to the city's outside legal counsel in the opioid litigation to propose a settlement with Henry Schein and related companies in the amount discussed in closed session, and to authorize the city manager to take any other steps necessary to accomplish that purpose.
So we will entertain a motion as Mr. Bedsall described it. Do we have a motion to entertain Mr. Bedsall's statement?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Greg, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Thank you for enduring a long meeting tonight. We're 2.5 hours in, so my comments will be brief this evening. I just want to remind everyone of the upcoming budget meetings. Next Monday night, we have a budget presentation that will begin at 5:30. That will be primarily to discuss the general fund. The following Monday, April 7th, there will be a budget work session at 6 o'clock, and that'll be to discuss all things budget. Also, April 14th will be another budget work session at 6 o'clock. I do believe, is April 7th a public hearing as well, Jenny? Do you remember? 14th? We'll get back on that. We do have an official public hearing on the budget, but at any of these work sessions. Okay.
I was going to say is we will revisit this next Monday with the specific dates and times and what will take place. We'll also place it on our website and
Yes.
social media.
Yes, and honestly, every Monday night from now till April 21st, we'll be in here talking about budget. So one other piece of good news I want to share, the city will, thanks to a very generous donor, have a fireworks show this year for the 4th of July. Actually, it's going to be on the 3rd of July. We will have a pre-4th celebration so that folks can come watch the fireworks in Radford on July the 3rd, and then you'll have the long weekend to travel to other places to watch their fireworks as well. But more information to follow on that. Very thankful that we had a sponsor to step up and take care of that for us. And it will not be the full festivities like we've had at Bissett Park in years past. The challenge is, as I'm sure folks know, is we're still in the midst of getting Bissett put back together from the storm, but we did not want to forego, if any way possible, not having fireworks this year, but they'll be on July 3rd. So that's all I have this evening.
Thank you so much, Craig, and thank you for all your work on the budget. For those who haven't been participating in some of the budget meetings and budget discussions, it has been a Herculean effort with Craig, staff, department heads, everyone who is working on that, and we are so thankful for all that work. Kelly, what do you have for us this evening?
I want to thank everybody that continues to come out to make comments with their concerns and sometimes even appreciation for everything we do up here. It's very difficult, and I know we lose sleep over it, and we, try to speak with everybody that we can and try to make the best decision that we can. And I know that we don't take these decisions lightly. So, but we do appreciate, everyone coming out. We continue to encourage you guys to come out. We can't make these, decisions, you know, just us. It helps to have other people's perspectives and comments and concerns. So please don't stop doing that, and please, you know that we appreciate it. I want to give a special thanks out to the telecommunications staff. One of the very first things that I did when I got on council was to go tour the police department, and I was blown away by everything there, but the telecommunications room was really something that resonated with me. And the amount of professionalism and patience and knowledge that goes into answering the phone of someone that is in an emergency crisis and making sure that all of our emergency staff, you know, work together to get that person the help that they need. I just really am very appreciative of everybody that helps out with that. And also to Adele and Ashley, two of the most selfless, hardworking people that I've met. They, you know, worked tirelessly to make sure that all of the less fortunate animals in our community and surrounding communities actually are okay, and everything that they did during everything that happened with Helene and losing the shelter and then working to get it back. I just definitely a special thanks to them. And as always, thank you to, you know, Craig and our legal counsel for always making sure that we have all the information that we need. I know that you're working tireless hours, probably more than what you should be, but yeah, it is that time of year. I feel that on more than just the council side, but we do really appreciate everything that you're doing. And that's all that I have. I appreciate council as well as we move forward to make difficult decisions. I think that we are all trying very hard, and I appreciate the group that we have up here.
Thank you, Kelly. Jesse, what do you have this evening?
Well, that is tough to follow, so I'm just going to say ditto to everything she has said. And I do want to reiterate how important it is that we're getting everyone's feedback. It is something that we take home with us. This is something, as you see, our work schedule, we're busy at it, we're trying to find good solutions, and I think probably what you're hearing is a lot what we're hearing. People don't want to pay more taxes, but they don't want to give up services. And so that is the challenge, because I feel the same way. But we do appreciate your input, and as we go forward, please continue showing up, watching, giving us your input. It does matter, and we are listening, and we do obviously care, we would not be doing this. So I just want to give a brief update. Since we're meeting weekly, there's not a whole lot to add as to what I'm doing in regards to my boards, but I did meet with the Heritage Foundation. They're busy working on the Field of Honor. I think it'll be new and improved this year. They're implementing some better structures so more people can participate. They also have received a $225,000 grant, which I've mentioned. We were a little concerned because it was frozen temporarily. I think it's thawing back out, so we're going to be busy trying to get some of the maintenance done that has been in arrears. So we're going to take that money and make Glencoe even better and preserve it. They have Glencoe sessions. It'll be called Friends of the Blue Ridge, so mark your calendars. There'll be music September 5th, October 3rd, November 7th, and December 5th. I did have a question. I've been getting a lot of calls about the brush pile in particular, and I know when we got on council, it was really important to us. I've told people it was very difficult to brand for the city, and it was very difficult to find a drop site. Little did we know we had this budget ahead, but really getting a location for a drop site was so important to people in the community, and something that was a little more challenging because we're limited with space. And so this is something that's obviously near and dear to our hearts. But one question that I did have in regards to the brush pile, when Seth and I were doing the tours of the properties that the city holds, we noticed that the brush was actually on a parcel of our property. So I'm wondering, when we're talking about the expense of the collection and the removal, I'm assuming the brush is other than the man and women power it takes to get it there, really the transport isn't costing us much more than that, would you say, for the brush on the property, or is it?
The short answer is, let me check into that to make sure I've got a full understanding of the issue. There is a cost to haul it. I think city forces haul that away.
That's what I thought, yeah.
The challenge or the cost is involved is many times when we haul that off, we have to pay a third party to grind it down for mulch and whatnot. That's where the expense comes in to deal with that mulch once it's,
Okay.
or deal with that brush once it's hauled away.
And I think what you saw may be the temporary location until it's hauled to be ground for mulch.
Yeah, I'll check into that. It's a good
Was
question.
there, I was thinking there might have even been mulch, some mulch there, but.
I'm trying to rack my brain.
I know. Well, I just had that question because brush is something that I've been receiving a lot of calls on, and then we're looking at how to save money. I wasn't convinced that maybe the brush necessarily was an issue. It might be a wash, but I'd like to hear about that, and if you can get back
Yes,
with me
ma'am.
on that. And honestly, that's really about it. It's been a long day, so thank you again, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, Jesse. Seth, what do you have?
Yeah, I'll echo what's been said tonight and keep it brief. I am glad that we had the opportunity to recognize some of the great people we have in our community, from our library and our police officers, down the line of everyone we've been able to talk. So I was glad that we were able to do that and appreciate. And one thing I do hear from everyone in the community is how much these services are valued and appreciated, and that the people have smiles on their faces when they work with them. So appreciate everything everybody does. Also wanted to just continue to thank our staff for, I know you guys have been working long hours to get this information to us. And, it's an unenviable task, but we're all committed to doing it. And I'm, Craig, glad you're on our team and helping us with this, and appreciate your help and everyone's help. And I do think that it's awesome that, there's someone that cares enough about this city to be able to donate fireworks. I think that shows how resilient we are, and that, people want us to continue to have a good day. And that's what Radford's all about. So I'm happy that we'll be able to celebrate that, and I'll leave it at that. So thank you.
Thank you, Seth. Guy, what do you have for us this evening?
Well, I just, reiterate all those things I won't. But I do appreciate the citizens of Radford. We all love Radford. I appreciate your inputs. I'm not getting as many calls, I don't think, as you guys are getting. So my email's on the website, and anybody who's got some ideas and want to talk to me, I'd be glad to talk to you. That's it.
Thank you, sir. And I want to say, too, thank you to everyone who came out to talk with us this evening. We recognize that every dollar that we ask of our citizens is a dollar you don't have to do something else you might do in your life with. We fully understand that. All of us here pay taxes and fees and recognize that challenge. I'll also say that over the years, the city of Radford has built up institutions in this city to serve needs. And it is hard to articulate all those needs in a very short period of time, whether it's recreation and athletic needs, whether it's our library, whether it is our public safety and police needs, fire and EMS. Those are things that have been built as an infrastructure for us as a community all these years. We talked about our utilities tonight. The city of Radford, I will just go on record and say we have the best utilities in our neck of the woods, and those folks keep the lights on, the water running, and keep things moving for us, and we are so appreciative of all of that. But as we talk about that, we're going through every single line item and saying, is this budgeted appropriately? Is this where we can be in the city? Is this something that we need that we can't make a change to? So one of the pieces you can rest assured is I don't think there will be a line in the budget that hasn't been examined 2, 3, 4, 5 times to say, is there any money that could be moved in a different way? Can this be better utilized for the citizens of the city? I also think we're looking at every possibility. So thank you to the gentleman who brought up we need more business. We agree. The West Radford Commerce Park and developing additional industrial sites in the city is something we've been working on for a number of years. That's starting to come to fruition. There's wonderful work taking place on the site of the old Virginia Castings, the old foundry site that is now the West Radford Commerce Park. And we're hoping we're going to see those dividends pay off in the long run. We're working to make Radford home to innovation and exploration in ways that we've never had before. And I'd like to point out one agency in particular, one organization that was recognized this past week. Mo Barani with Oronzi was recognized by actually VMI with their alumni publication, and it was picked up all across the state with the innovation in motors that's taking place with that organization. And that could be a game changer for the city of Radford as well. Work is being done to try to find new business, new industry, new opportunity every single day for this city. So we do appreciate that comment. We recognize that need as well. I don't think anybody up here takes lightly the task at hand. This is a challenging time. We want to make sure we maintain the things that we have, that we continue to offer the things that we need, the things that make life the quality that it is here in the city of Radford, and we want to keep it as affordable as it can possibly be for our citizens, businesses, and everybody involved. And we're working on that day and night and week and week and week, and we will continue to do that. Thank you to everybody tonight. It was great to recognize our library, our police, our emergency services, everything that we looked at this evening. I hope you will come out and participate on April 12th in the National Crime Victims' Rights 5K. That's an important event that shows our support as a community for those that have been impacted by the decisions of others to commit crimes and create victims in our society. I hope you can come down to Bissett Park on the 12th and go from there. Thank you all so much. I have one last piece I want to share. This past weekend, a huge restoration effort along the New River took place with tree plantings, shrubs at Veterans Field, all along the Riverway. That was coordinated by Jesse Kelly and Nursery Natives, but the Recreation Commission reviewed and supported that. The Beautification and Municipal Forestry Commission reviewed and supported that. The New River Conservancy was a part of that. We were looking to improve parts of the shoreline where things were damaged during Hurricane Helene. City staff helped support this event. So many people worked to get thousands of hours of activity from the hundreds of volunteers and all of the dozens and dozens of material that was planted. So we want to say thank you to everybody who participated on Friday and Saturday in the driving wind. It was a little crazy down there, but we got a lot done. And I thank you all for all coming out. Please continue to come out, ask questions. If you have any other comments, we're hoping to listen to them. And until then, we will stand.
I do have one more comment, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I did just want to address the rec center for a minute. I did hear some concerns, and last week I did actually email Craig and ask him about that and why the reasons, what the reasons were for the decisions being made in the morning versus the afternoon. And Charlie Goins was tasked with, kind of reviewing and deciding what hours would be best, and the reason that decision was made is primarily for the evening schedule, where activities and tournaments and games go until 8:30 and sometimes later, and if we added back the hours in the morning, then adjustments would need to be made to the weekend schedule to compensate. That's not to say that more adjustments will be made. I know that Charlie's going to continue to work at that now that he's, I'm sure, heard some things where people are missing out on, getting their release in the morning for their mental health, just as much as people are loving the Radford. The Rec Hall is something that they love just as much. So they are reviewing that, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I did reach out.
All right. Thank you all so much, and we'll stand adjourned until next Monday. Okay.